Hey everyone, in today's video I'm going to be showing you what to pack for teaching English in Asia. So what I'm going to do is walk you through everything that I've packed, show you all my gear, my bags, and everything that you should bring. So as I go through, I'll comment on different things that you should know about for making sure that you have everything that you need when you come out to Asia. Alright, so let's crack right into it. Now the cool thing is everything you see here is everything that I own, and it all fits into those bags at the back there. There's a couple of things still in the wash which I just need to throw in there, but I'll tell you what those are. But basically the fact that I can take everything I own and just fit it into basically two bags, that small one in the middle I'll show you now, but two bags, one that you can check in on your flights and the other one you take on carry-on. That's pretty cool to me. So the first thing that's most important is to definitely pack your cat, and that goes in the big bag over there. Yeah, just joking, that's Topsy. She didn't want to move from the bed, so I let her stay there. So yeah, let's go start off with the bags. So what you see here is my Deuter 80-liter backpack, and I love this bag. It's awesome. It fits basically everything you see here in it. And I got this on the last time I went out to Asia, so about 2 years ago, and I've been using it since then. So this is my main bag, and the majority of stuff's going to go in there, and you check it on your flight. Now it's 80 liters, so it's plenty of space. You know, you don't really need more than that at all. And the thing I really like about this bag is, if you look here, it's actually zipped up, so it's kind of like a duffel bag, you know. It's got this strap here, and then the cool thing is you can actually unzip it so that, okay, so then you get the straps there, so you can use it as a backpack. Now I really like that because then I can literally be like a turtle or tortoise with everything I own on my back, like my home on my back, and just travel to a new country. Now it's not necessary to have a backpack. Okay, so I think it's pretty cool. Like I love this bag, but you really don't need one. So you can just get a suitcase. All you need to do is have something that will have the majority of your stuff in. You'll fly in, you'll take a cab or Uber to where you live, probably, and then you'll unpack. So you don't really need this. The cool thing is if you do plan to do some more traveling and you want to be a bit more portable, this is good, especially for backpacking and stuff like that. Alright, so the next up, I actually just bought this bag recently. That's a new camera bag. It's got a cool sling shoulder thing, so it's just one strap, so I can easily get to my camera if I'm out and about filming videos. Looking forward to using that. The one I used before was this one over here. So this one is, hey Topsy, why you got this Ziploc bag here? So this is my main bag for all my camera stuff, my laptop, and any valuables when I'm traveling. So basically I'll just take this on the flight and then check in the big bag. That one is probably just gonna fit inside there with my camera stuff. Now the cool thing about this bag, I really like it, is it's just big enough to fit all my valuables in there. So if this bag got lost or stolen, it's not the end of the world, because you know, it's mostly just gonna be clothes and stuff that can be replaced in there. This has got like all the important stuff, camera, laptop, and all that kind of stuff. And then if you do want to carry them both, you can actually wear this on the front and the big one on the back, and it is not a pretty sight. You look like a crazy backpacker, but it works, you know. And if you wanted to go like off-road and stuff, it kind of balances yourself out. So it's kind of cool. I love this bag. I actually found it at Ben Thanh Market in Ho Chi Minh City, just down a side alley there. So I was really happy to find that, and I use it all the time in Vietnam. It's good for your motorbike. If you have a motorbike and you just want to get around the city and carry stuff around, I use it all the time. Alright, next up we got a toiletries bag. Just bring the basics, you know, toothbrush, toothpaste, any kind of special products that you like that you aren't sure you'll be able to find overseas. Bring some of those. Obviously you can't bring like 3 bottles to last you a year or whatever. I mean, I guess you could if you really wanted to. But for the most part, you can find almost everything you need in Asia. So don't worry about it too much unless it's something that you can't find anywhere else, and you know that for sure. The same goes for medication. If you have any prescription medication, make sure to bring at least a couple of months worth of that, because if you have a script from overseas, you can't use that in the country that you go to. So you won't be able to use the same script. So if you have medication that you need to take regularly, you'll have to see a doctor in that country to get a new script to get the medication there. So bring enough of a supply to keep you going. You can find all the major medications out in Asia, so don't worry about that too much. Then I just got a couple of travel things there. The eye mask, which is great for flights if you want to get some sleep, and some earplugs. That is like a lifesaver. I sometimes cut those a little bit shorter so that they don't stick out as much. And a little travel lock over there. Then right over here I've got my two tripods, the bigger one, the smaller one, and I've actually got the Joby Gorilla Pod on my camera right now, which is even smaller, like the selfie stick style thing, which is way overpriced but works really well. Got my two hard drives there, external hard drives. Actually I have a third one as well, and I probably need to get another one. I fill up a lot with footage and pictures and stuff. And for those of you that like camera gear, this here is my camera. It's the Sony a6000, and I've got a Gorilla Pod, and then here we've got the mic on top. That's a Zoom H1. It's pretty great camera for shooting video. Then over here we've got all the tech stuff. Got my laptop, which is bigger than you actually need unless you're doing something like video editing. If you have a small MacBook, I would say usually if you want to Skype and do lesson planning and stuff, it's better to have a laptop than a tablet. But some people get by with those. Then I got my Kindle, mouse. That's my favorite lens, the 35mm f1.8 Sony lens. It's great. Got my little GoPro Session there. That's usually where my camera is in that bag. I got a shock speaker. Here's a diary, notebook. There's my Skype headset, so I use that for Skype calls. I actually don't do as many of those now that the team is actually handling most of that. That's their full-time job, is Skyping and chatting to people that are interested in teaching abroad and helping them with TEFL courses and positions. Then I got my glasses case, spare microphone, batteries, card reader. Over here I got some extra memory cards. Business cards are in there. Then I've got my passports and my old passports. I'm bringing that along just because sometimes having a passport to give into a hotel or something like that, or if someone wants to see collateral or just some ID, you don't want to bring out your main passport, that could be really useful. So that's my old one, and then I got my new passport here. I've also got my ID book, which you don't really need. Passport's fine. This is really handy. I use that for my passports. I don't really wear it that much anymore, but actually when I first started traveling, I wore it all the time. It goes around your waist, under your shirt, so it keeps your passport really safe. It's actually really good for airports and traveling, because the last thing you want to do is lose your passport. So you just keep it on you and keep it safe. And I usually keep some extra passport photos in there because you need them very often for visas and borders and stuff like that. Then I've got my wallet. That's my motorbike key. So when I get back, I will get my motorbike back. I just left it in Vietnam, so it's not, look how sketchy that key is. You could totally just fake it and use it. Please don't do that and steal my motorbike. Alright, and then I got a bunch of flash disks there. You don't really need that many. I just keep some important documents on there, and they're handy to have for printing and stuff like that. Got a power bank, then a adapter. This one's actually not useful to me. I need the opposite. So if you're American, then you need to convert it to the 2-prong plugs. As a South African, our plugs are pretty much the same as most countries in Asia, so that's cool. But yeah, you might need an adapter if you're from another country. And here's just some cool flags that I've got. I've been meaning to sew them on my bag. You can see there I've got a few of them sewn on, and getting one in each new country I go to, so I've got about 25 now. Here's Chewbacca. A friend gave me that in South Korea. Glasses, weight straps. And then in here I've just got a couple of different GoPro accessories, basically. Alright, so onto the clothes here. So Now, the interesting thing about this is I think people way overpack in general. So what I've got here is basically just about 5-6 t-shirts. A couple of things are in the wash right now, so this isn't everything, but it's not a lot more than this. So basically what's missing here is 2 or 3 pairs of trousers and a few other things. Here we have a couple of dress shirts. I've got 1 or 2 more, I think. This is actually my Saint Laurent Paris jacket that I won in South Korea, and it was worn by the Big Bang K-pop star Daesung, I think it is, and it was worn in like a commercial, and I won it. It's actually pretty worth quite a lot. So if anyone wants to buy that off me, let me know. And then here I've got a suit which I hardly ever wear, but you know, if you want to suit up, it's useful to have a suit. It's always good to be able to suit up if the need arises. I would say if you're a guy, having a blazer for interviews can't hurt at all. Most places you actually don't need to wear a suit. So Vietnam and South Korea, you don't need to wear a suit or even a blazer most of the time. But for interviews, it really can't hurt, so that's a good thing. I know in Thailand it's a little bit more strict on the dress requirements. Sometimes you do need to suit up depending on the school and dress up quite smartly. So usually for guys, smart pants, a collared shirt, and smart shoes is fine for teaching. Bring a tie along for interviews, but mostly, you know, in most countries you're not going to have to wear a tie most of the time unless you just want to look good, and that can't hurt. And for girls it's kind of similar. You just want to look professional, but you don't have to go overboard. You don't have to wear a dress suit or high heels or anything like that. Just wear things that aren't revealing, so no cleavage and shoulders. That's a big no-no in Asia in general. But otherwise, even skirts are fine. But for girls, if you're in doubt, just wear blouses and long pants and nice shoes, and you should be good to go. And the funny thing is, okay, so this is my only sweater I have. And in the last 2 years in Southeast Asia, I literally didn't wear it once. So out of all my clothes, I had one long sleeve sweater, other than these like suits, tops, the blazers, and I didn't wear it once. So that's how hot it was throughout the year. I did follow summer a little bit. You know, I escaped the northern Vietnam winter, which is a little bit colder. I would have had to wear something like that. But literally, if you're going to Southeast Asia, especially Thailand or the south of Vietnam, you aren't going to need basically any warm stuff. So it rains, there's a rainy season, but it's still hot during that rainy season. The rest of the year it's just hot. Now the exception is if you go to South Korea or China, something like that, then you want to bring a jacket if you're arriving in winter. If you're not arriving in winter, then you don't need to bring it and you can buy it there. But if you're arriving, you need one of those like full-on winter jackets if you arrive at that time. Alright, and then over here I've got my shoes. As you can see, not all that much. I've just got a pair of sneakers which are really old right now. I wear them all the time. I wear them for just like day-to-day stuff, going to gym, all of that. And then I've got my Zara boots, and I wear those basically for meetings or if I'm going out, and then flip-flops. So I mean, most people would probably want to bring more shoes than that, but really that's all you actually need. Alright, and then over here I've got important documents. So I recommend bringing photocopies of basically your passports and any important documents. Just bring it in a folder. Of course, if you're coming to Vietnam, make sure to bring your original degree certificates. Make sure to bring a criminal background check. The originals are fine. You don't need to get them certified at home right now. That's the way it works in Vietnam at the moment. You can get it all certified in Vietnam. And if you've already completed your TEFL or CELTA course, make sure you have the original certificate. Seriously, bring the original. You can't just bring a photocopy or like an online confirmation. Schools want to see that, and you need it to process your work permits. So for Vietnam, bring all those original documents. So it's pretty clear that I don't have a lot of stuff, and I think that's hands down the biggest issue people have when they come out, is they bring too much stuff, or they're worried that they don't have everything they need, which is really not going to be the case for the most part, because you can get everything important out in Asia when you're there. So, I mean, with the clothes, I'm not kidding when I say, this is everything I have minus, not even double the amount of these clothes. It's just like a few more shirts and a couple of pairs of pants, and that's all the clothes I have. Now, obviously, some people have bigger wardrobes, and that's totally cool if you want to bring more stuff, but don't feel like you have to pack an entire year's worth of clothes, because if you arrive in one season, just bring the clothes you need for that season, and then you can buy more. So that's the one exception I would say, is things that it's hard to get is clothes that fit if you are like quite a big person, and also shoes, right? So if you have really big feet, you might want to just make sure you have all the right shoes, because that's going to be harder to find in Asia if you don't have the right sizes. Otherwise, don't worry too much about not having everything you need. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Everything that I have and own and I'm bringing back with me to Asia. If you have any extra things that you would suggest people bring, leave a comment below. And if you have any questions, you can also post a comment and I'll make sure to get to them. Otherwise, I'm headed back to Vietnam. I'm really excited to get back and show you just in so much more detail this year, because I have the time now to really dive into the culture, show you what life is like, give you tips on how to get started teaching, and it's going to be epic. So stay tuned for videos of me arriving back in Vietnam, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.